This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
After Party live on a Monday, and thank you for being here for it, and thank you for your patience as well. Phew, Mark Thompson show over. On we go to the next show. It's a lot to do when you're having to put the whole show, both the whole shows together. So hopefully I have enough content to fill up the rest of our time together, and I'm thankful for your patience if I don't. But I'm really trying to make it happen. So there you go. At least we have that. Thank you for being here. I can see Sandy talking about the future. Hello to Liz as well. Yeah. Oh, Tammy's royal. Most of my royal heritage were female or illegitimate males. No keys to the kingdom for Tammy. No. Rhonda, I'm sorry that you are suffering from the flu. I see that, and I'm so sorry you're still sick, but I'm glad you made it to the show today. Hopefully you're resting up. Hey, party people, says Sandy, and hello to Heather. Here we are, says Ricky. I'm glad you guys are here. Wait, before this happens, I'm gonna see if I can. Oh, stop the track. I'll just keep that music going over and over again. I don't know. I'm not off to a very good start here. I don't know. Thank you for all the ways you contribute to the After Party Live stories. I have a lot of contributed stories from you guys today that I'm excited to share with the group, and financial contributions as well. So appreciated. Please find the PayPal information for this crowdfunded show in the show description and in the About tab. So mahalo for all of that. Okay. We're going to jump right into some of the stories today. I hope everybody had a good weekend. And let's talk about Egyptian blue. Kind of a cool story, especially the way they found this Egyptian blue. This is a very expensive, highly sought after paint. A 5-pound chunk of it was found in Nero's palace, or what was Nero's palace. This is the world's oldest known synthesized pigment. And the discovery, it's thought, could highlight the link between the ancient Egyptian roots of this pigment and its rediscovery by Renaissance artists centuries later. It was found in the ruins of the Domus Aurea Palace in Rome. Archaeologists say that's where they uncovered an array of ancient pigments used by the artisans there to paint the walls of Emperor Nero's marble home with frescoes about 2,000 years ago. Inside the remnants of what were workshops at this palace, archaeologists found an amphora containing yellow ochre, and I'll show you that. Here it is, buried in the ground. You can see it. They pull it out of the ground, and inside they find yellow ochre, and they keep looking. And what do they find? Small jars filled with reddish pigments like red ochre. And they also came across basins where these artisans that made these frescoes would have mixed these pigments with water. But they say the highlight of all the things that they found is this solid hunk of Egyptian blue. It's this rare pigment prized for thousands of years because it's shimmering. It has this ethereal quality. It has been used to paint these amazing frescoes all over the inside of what was Nero's palace. Pretty cool thing they found. The fascination, they say, conveyed by the depth of blue of this pigment is incredible. The Domus Aurea, or Nero's palace, moves and restores the brilliance of colors used by the painters who skillfully decorated the rooms of this precious, refined imperial palace. So, unlike ochre and other paints which occur naturally, Egyptian blue has to be produced. It's this synthetic pigment mixed by firing a mixture of silica, limestone, and minerals containing copper and sodium carbonate at high temperatures. It is thought to be the world's oldest pigment. Here's a close-up, a macro of how it looks. It's very, very shimmery and interesting looking. It originated in ancient Egypt, dates back to at least the 3rd millennium BCE. It was an essential element in decoration and in design. It provided the shading on ancient Egyptian portraits and the vivid coloring of funerary figurines. And the Roman architect Vitruvius recorded the recipe in his treatise called De Architectura in the 1st century BCE. And that, according to scientists, is really how this color spread through the Mediterranean world and then came to be in the Roman Empire. They have identified Egyptian blue in the baths of Titus, on the walls of Pompeii, and even in some of the amazing art that came out of the Renaissance. It was rediscovered in the 19th century by a British chemist, but in recent years, apparently it's been found in Renaissance artworks. The 1524 painting St. Margaret, Raphael's 1512 fresco, The Triumph of Galatea. And apparently these artists from the Renaissance were known to sneak into the ruins of Nero's home to admire and take artistic inspiration from the frescoes completed in the 1st century CE. So maybe that's how they recreated the vivid blue in their own artwork. What a find. 5-pound chunk of it, too. Pretty cool. Both of these next stories come from Teacher Lori. Thank you, Teacher Lori. But this is about a seal that was kind of tired and ended up in a hotel room. That was quite a surprise. A hotel guest in the Netherlands returned to their room, found this seal taking a nap. This was at Pier 7. It's a hotel in the beach town of Vlissingen. The staff at the hotel gets a call from the restaurant downstairs saying there's a guest with a seal in the bedroom. They say we often get some strange messages, but the statement that we received, we couldn't believe it at first at all. The guest at the hotel, which apparently has rooms directly leading onto the beach, is thought to maybe accidentally have left the door open. It's surprising this hasn't happened before. And that is what allowed the seal to pop in when they were out. They had to call the marine animal rescue people who were there to assist the workers to get this seal out. They say the seal was very grumpy because it was woken up, and that's not cool. See, here it is. It was asleep, resting in the hotel room. Then they had to wake it up, and it was not pleased. No. They did end up taking the seal, relocating it to a safer, more quiet place where it could get a little bit of rest. They say these seals look really cute, but they can bite. You shouldn't approach them. You shouldn't touch them. Don't be a Turon. They said you can find a gray seal in the craziest places. They look for a resting place. Sometimes they lie down in the middle of a terrace or a middle of a road. In any case, they say, yeah, these guest holiday became an adventure to never forget. You only experience that in Vlissingen, they say. Here's a great story from Lori as well. This is a pit bull and a wolf pup. It's really kind of a sweet story. This orphaned wolf pup bonded with this shelter dog at the Kansas Zoo. It's been called a perfect pairing. They did it on purpose. They thought this brindle pit bull would be the perfect mentor for this wolf pup that was abandoned, had no mother. So at a zoo in Wichita, Kansas, they put Slinky, who was a 3-month-old brindle mix taken in by the Kansas Humane Society. The same day, this wolf, Amora, was born at the Sedgwick County Zoo. Amora's mother had died, and so the zoo was looking for a companion that could get this wolf pup through the development stages so she would be prepared to integrate into the wild once she grew. And they couldn't have a human being do it, because what you don't want is for these animals to somehow feel comfortable with humans, and then they can't be released into the wild. So it couldn't be a person. They had to find someone, something else. And so they found Slinky, this brindle spotted pit bull. And they wrote on social media, Slinky is helping out at the zoo. The dog went through an initial quarantine period so it wouldn't pass on any diseases from eventually meeting the wolf pup. And after that happened, they said they knew it would be a perfect pairing. Early indications seem to suggest they were right. Things are going well between these two animals. They are different species, although some would say wolf and dog are very similar species, but they've been carefully introduced. Apparently, Amora has a spicy little personality. Slinky is playful and helping her grow into the wolf she's meant to be. The dog is starting the socialization process for this wolf pup. The zoo says Slinky plays an important role because Amora could become overly reliant on human caretakers around her without his guidance. So, there they are. These wolves are usually solitary, but the pups need companionship in order to properly develop. If they don't have a mother or a sibling, it's really challenging for them to learn natural behaviors that they will need to live in the wild as a maned wolf. So Slinky gets relieved from his duties at the zoo and will retire when Amora is old enough to live alongside other wolves on her own. He has already, Slinky, been adopted by one of the zoo employees who plans to take him home. So really a happy story all around. There you go. And thank you, Teacher Lori, for the wolf pup story and for the story about the seal in the hotel as well. Much appreciated. You can always email me stories. I love to hear from you and what you want to hear about on this show. Please find me. Kim@theafterparty.live is the best way to email. And I really appreciate the help and the stories that you all send. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Super cute. San Diego Zoo says Joy pairs golden retrievers with cheetahs to make walking, moving them easier. Didn't know. Tweety Kid says they're friends for life. Nice. My cat used to be best friends with a pit bull. Nice. I think woken is technically a word. You can be woken up, right? Oh, are you questioning my grammar? The possibility is that I used the word that wasn't a word. Woken is not a word. I don't think that's true. I've used it in Scrabble before, Karen, and it's worked. You might be right. We have to look it up. All right, let's look it up. Because you could say awoken. Woken is a word. Yeah. Past participle of wake. Woken. Because you don't say woked. Right? You say woken. I was awoken. I was woken. Yeah. Woken definition in the Cambridge English Dictionary. Past participle of wake. It is indeed a word, woken. So there you go. It's possible that I used it incorrectly, but it is a word. So now we know. But thank you for keeping me on my toes, always. Got to make sure. All right. Have you heard about this? It's an Einstein ring. The heck is an Einstein ring? Well, the Euclid telescope has managed to capture this warping of space. It's called an Einstein ring, and it is in a galaxy more than 4 billion light years away. The starlight there has been bent due to gravity. I know, it's really interesting. The Euclid Space Telescope captured this rare phenomenon called an Einstein ring, and the Einstein ring reveals the extreme warping of space by a galaxy's gravity. This is in a nearby galaxy. It's got the sexy name NGC 6505. It is surrounded by a perfect circle of light. And scientists say the ring gives a glimpse of a more distant galaxy sitting directly behind NGC 6505, whose starlight has been bent around the foreground galaxy. The astronomers at Open University call it beautiful, extraordinary, thrilling, and lucky to find this. An Einstein ring as perfect as this is extremely rare. We get to see a background galaxy through the warped space and time of a nearby foreground galaxy. Albert Einstein's general theory of relativity predicts light will bend around massive objects in space, meaning that galaxies can act as vast lenses. So, Einstein rings are a powerful tool for astronomers because they reveal objects that would otherwise be obscured from view, and they indicate the mass of the immediate galaxy, including any hidden mass in the form of dark matter. Here's another picture of it. Look at that. So interesting. In this case, astronomers estimate, this is according to The Guardian, that the foreground galaxy comprises about 11% dark matter, which is a small fraction given that dark matter is believed to dominate the overall mass content of the universe. They say uncovering the secrets of dark matter and energy, which together make up 95% of the universe, is the central aim of the European Space Agency's mission. Ultimately, the telescope, which can detect galaxies out to 10 billion light years, is aiming to create the largest cosmic 3D map ever made. And that is expected to allow astronomers to infer the large-scale distribution of dark matter and reveal the influence of dark energy, a mysterious force accelerating the expansion of the universe. Pretty cool. They say this image is unmatched in its ability for razor-sharp observations, and it reveals new structures in the nearby universe. And even though it's for, 590 million light years away from Earth, they say really, in cosmic terms, that's kind of like a stone's throw. The unnamed background galaxy is 4.42 billion light years away. This galaxy is well known. It was discovered first in 1884. It's been known to astronomers for a very long time, but this ring was never observed before. So it shows how powerful that Euclid is. It's very powerful and very cool. Well, from space and astronomy to Disneyland, here it comes. And we knew that they were going to do this. We knew it was coming. It's the Pixar Mini Putt-Putt Golf. It's coming to the Disneyland Resort with your favorite Pixar characters from Toy Story and The Incredibles and Monsters, Inc. and Finding Nemo and Coco and A Bug's Life, Inside Out, WALL-E. All serve as inspiration for this 18-hole mini golf game. That'll be fun. It's going to be at Pixar Place Hotel, and it's got a limited runtime, February 7th until June 1st. It's going to be open Monday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. I'm sure a lot of people will stay at Pixar Pier just because they would like to play the mini Pixar golf. They're going to have tee times every 30 minutes. $28 on weekdays, $33 on weekends. I think that's probably per person as well. If you stay at the hotel, you get a bit of a discount. So there you go. The mini putt-putt coming to Disneyland, or Pixar Pier, I should say. All right. Sadly, from happy to sad, flu rates are really, really high. Interestingly, we have a lower rate of COVID right now, but flu rates are now at a 15-year high. This is according to the CDC. U.S. medical service providers, they say, are seeing the greatest numbers of flu cases since the 2009-2010 flu season. Sorry, Rhonda, I know you're caught up in all this. For the week ending February 1st, 8% of all hospital emergency department visits were linked to the flu, more than double the 3.2% posted at the same time a year ago. They say the seasonal influenza activity remains elevated and continues to increase across the country. They say 24 million people have had the flu so far. 310,000 hospitalizations for the flu, 13,000 deaths from the flu. It was sad. So take care of yourself. Drink enough fluid, get care if you need it. The One of the things they're noting is that children who are especially vulnerable to the flu accounted for 10 influenza deaths during the week of February 1st. So it's hard to keep your kids from getting these things, but flu shots, flu shots, flu shots, right? Yeah. And there are prescription flu antiviral drugs that can treat flu illnesses. They say if you have the flu, start those as early as possible. It's very important, especially if you're someone at higher risk of severe illness. So, but as we see the flu going up, we see COVID rates actually going down, which is interesting. The CDC says the outbreak is occurring despite a continued decline in COVID cases, which decreased to 4.9% of positive tests, while two common strains of influenza accounted for 31.6% positive tests. So you know where we stand. We have a mountain declared a person. It seems weird, but actually kind of a good thing. Yeah. This happened in New Zealand. The mountain is Mount Taranaki, and Mount Taranaki is now legally a person. It joins Te Urewera, which is a native forest on the north of the island, and the Wanganui River is being recognized as people under the laws of the country of New Zealand. And in doing so, this mountain is granted all the rights and responsibilities of a human by the government. And what does it do? It offers extra protection for Mount Taranaki. Now it's known as Taranaki Maunga, its Maori name. And that means it has all the rights, powers, duties, and responsibilities of a person. This happened as an agreement between New Zealand's government and the indigenous Maori tribes. They consider this mountain an ancestor. They say the legal personality has a name. It's Te Kahui Tupua, which the law views as a living, indivisible whole. And it includes Taranaki and its surrounding peaks and land, and it incorporates all their physical and metaphysical elements. It makes up a new entity that acts as a face and voice of a mountain with the formation of this new group, including 4 members of the local Maori tribes, 4 others appointed by the county's conservation minister, and they will speak for this mountain. The recognition also acknowledges the mountain's theft from the Maori of the Taranaki region after New Zealand was colonized. It fulfills an agreement of reparation from the country's government to indigenous people for the harms perpetrated against the land ever since. And it gives the tribes more power to uphold the health of the mountain. It is a tourist area. There's hiking, there's snow sports there. And so now the tribes will have a say in, keeping this area as healthy as possible. That could mean a decrease in tourism there. They say it'll still be a publicly accessible destination, but there might be some changes. The Maori tribes told Parliament, this mountain has long been an honored ancestor, a source of physical, cultural, and spiritual sustenance, and a final resting place. So, interesting way to do it, grant it personhood, but whatever works and whatever means that it's going to be better for the environment and better for the relationship between the Maori people and the government. Yeah. Would you feed your pet meatless food? Well, there's a new food called Meatly. And Meatly doesn't have traditional meat, you could say. It has meats made from cultivated meat, and it's just gone on sale. Meatly says this is a huge step forward. There are other companies that are working to do this as well. So these are dog treats and food made from lab grown chicken. They're on sale in the UK. They combine plant based ingredients with cultivated meat made by growing a single sample of cells from a chicken egg. They say that these chick bites, is what they call them, from Meatly, contain all the essential amino acids, critical fatty acids, minerals, and vitamins needed for pet health. They say it's just as tasty and nutritious as traditional chicken breast. They think they are the first company in the world to sell cultivated meat for pet food produced by growing cells, and it doesn't require the slaughter of animals. They say it's a giant leap forward, a significant market for meat, which is healthy, sustainable, kind to our planet and to other animals. What do you think? Would you feed your dog Meatly? I don't know. Gordon says it sounds expensive. Why? Cultivated dog meat? Yeah, well, they didn't have to slaughter animals. They just used cells to make it and plants. So, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I guess I have to see how much protein was in it, right? Because you want to make sure that your pets are eating enough protein. Dogs need that. Other companies are, again, doing this too. They're not to market yet, but apparently this is going to happen. There's an Australian American startup called BioCraft, and they've been developing cultivated mouse meat for dogs and cats. They say there's a delay getting products to market because it's expensive and complicated to make this happen. They're trying to cut costs now that they've figured everything out and formulate some test products. These alternatives, though, to animal proteins from traditional livestock farming might be a good thing because we know that's been linked to climate change, water pollution, all kinds of things. They are investigating apparently the health benefits and risk as far as feeding this to people. And this is happening in the UK. So they say what the British public will stomach. They're looking at the attitudes of consumers toward cultivated meat. And they did a study involving 729 people that showed only 32.5% would eat cultivated meat themselves, but 47.3% would feed it to their pets. That's funny because you would think if you wouldn't feed it to yourself, you wouldn't feed it to your pet. But all right. John Watson says, just don't get that mouse meat mixed up in my hamburger. So they're forced to be vegetarians. Technically not. While the animal wasn't slaughtered, they did take sample cells of a chicken in the lab. And so technically, there's chicken cells in there. So it's not only vegetarian, right? It's also animal protein in a way. Oh, Liz says, I'm going to wait to see on this one. Yeah, we don't know. Liz is thinking, ew. No. Rhonda says, don't we have enough food animal parts for pets? Not if you don't want to slaughter them. I mean, there are people who feel that's cruel. So if there's another way to feed your animals, still get them that protein without, having to slaughter other animals to do so, I guess that would be the goal. Santi says, a giant leap for mankind, one small step for a man. Yeah. Yay, rats with fleas can carry the Black Plague. Well, I think this happens in the lab. So I think that would be controlled. I don't know. Phineas says their Royal Canin UC Uric formula was $100 for an 18-pound bag. I don't know the answer. Right now, it's just dog treats. Mama says it only makes sense if it's less expensive than real meat. Oh, Rhonda's talking about waste parts. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I have reservations about this, but I'm intrigued. We talked about this on the Mark Thompson show, but didn't really dig into it that much. There is a study that shows it is really true that things seem better in the morning. This research comes out of the University College London. It's a COVID social study. They found that people are generally happier in the morning than at night. They say the earlier hours of the day are when people most feel at their best. People feel widely happier in the summertime than they do in the winter months as well. They looked at data from more than 49,000 adults between March of 2020 and 2022. And they say people generally woke up feeling best, but they were feeling the worst by midnight. The findings suggest, on average, people's mental health and well being are better in the morning and worse at midnight. Well, it makes perfect sense. You've had a whole day for crap to happen, right? And by the time you get to midnight, you're like, just let this day be over. In the study, people were asked questions like, in the past week, how happy did you feel? How satisfied have you been with your life? To what extent have you felt the things you're doing in your life are worthwhile? They took into account age, health conditions, whether people worked. The results showed happiness, life satisfaction, and worthwhile ratings were all higher on Mondays and Fridays than on Sundays. Happiness was also higher on Tuesdays, but there was no evidence that loneliness differed across the days of the week. The research suggested the changes in mental health and well-being across the day could be explained by physiological changes associated with the body clock. Cortisol, they said, is a hormone that regulates our mood, our motivation, our fear, peaks right after we wake up. It reaches its lowest levels around bedtime. They noted some differences in mood between the weekdays and weekends could be driven by things like daily tasks. The pattern, they say, could reflect when people choose to respond to the survey rather than a direct time of day. Those already feeling better in the morning might be more likely to engage with the survey at that time. I don't know. You feel better in the morning than you do at night? To me, it makes perfect sense. You wake up feeling refreshed, ready for a new day, ready for the possibility that anything could happen, good things could happen. And if they don't, or, you know, if it's the same old crap all over again, by the time night rolls around, you're exhausted and just ready to sleep. Of course, you're not in as good of a mood. It seems to make sense to me. I don't know. Are you happier in the morning than at night? Karen, Phineas rather, says Hawaii is the only place I can be a morning person. I don't know. Sandy says, I often feel stressed out at night because I'm worried about stuff, but after sleeping, I often feel better. Makes perfect sense, right? Heather says, I feel like my body is full of lead until at least noon. That's kind of me too. I kind of, I'm moving slow in the morning. It's not until later on that I get my groove on. Gordon says, I do better work at work in the morning. Mama is on the opposite. I absolutely hate bright sunshine. I'm miserable in the summer. Longer days make me anxious and depressed. Sandy says, I'm not a morning person either. No. Rev says, not when I wake up in MAGA country. Nope. Ron has never been a morning person. Yeah, I like a night. I like some sweater weather. That's true. Well, we all have our things, right? I could see being in a better mood, though. Although a lot of people need their Coachella Valley coffee before they feel like they're in a better mood. All right. I found this, and it made me think of Wes. They are in Texas building this 3D home development project. Kind of interesting. It's this construction that's underway on this community of about 100 3D printed homes in Texas. It's co-designed by this Danish architecture studio called Big and an American construction technology company called Icon. So this is in Georgetown, which is right outside of Austin, Texas. It aims to be the largest community in the world built using 3D printing technology. They're calling it Wolf Ranch. And the homes are all ranch style houses. 8 different floor plans, layouts that range from 1,500 to 2,100 square feet. The construction company Lennar Homes is using a Vulcan robotic construction system to print the structural elements of these homes. They say these homes are better in every way. The machines use a proprietary concrete developed by Icon. It's called lavacrete. And according to the company, it's an extremely durable building material that can be printed at high speeds. The robotics allow the walls to be produced with less waste and with more design freedom. They say for the first time in the history of the world, we're witnessing a fleet of robots building an entire community of homes. And not just any homes, homes, they say, that are better in every way. This from the founder of Icon, Jason Ballard, who says in the future, he believes robots and drones will build entire neighborhoods, towns, and cities, and will look back at Lennar's Wolf Ranch community as the place where robotic construction at scale began. I have some more pictures for you. Here's another picture of this house. You can see the pattern on the walls is kind of striated. I think these houses look nice and surprisingly normal. Just a ranch house. You wouldn't know it was built by a robot, would you? The walls are kind of rounded. And striated. Here's a look at the inside. You can see the lines on the walls. I don't know. We'll see how they hold up, I guess. But I think the houses look normal. And kind of, dare I say it, nice. The homes will be 2 stories, the walls printed by the Vulcan machines, as well as some of the furniture too. The roof, gabled roofing structures clad in metal, topped with photovoltaic panels. So somewhere on that roof are full photovoltaic panels. They decided they wanted these homes to resemble traditional Texas ranch style homes. They say they're blending contemporary Texas ranch style aesthetics and the community of 3D printed homes featuring elevated architectural and energy efficient designs, highlighting the benefits of resiliency and sustainability with the digital possibilities of additive construction as well. Their concrete, which you saw, is grooved, the lavacrete rather, and it's grooved along the floors as well. They say the plan for this neighborhood really looks like a traditional American suburban layout. They've got driveways, they've got streets connecting the homes. The houses are 3 to 4 bedrooms, priced in the mid 400,000 range, and apparently available for purchase. There are other 3D printed residential projects in the United States. The first 2-story 3D printed home designed in New York. They have one in California that construction company Mighty Builders claims are the world's first to achieve net zero. So, what do you think? There they are in Texas. 3D printed homes are looking pretty interesting. We talk about the wave of the future. Perhaps this is it. Yeah, about 400 grand, in the 400 range. Vulcan. Yeah, it's a Vulcan machine. A Vulcan machine. Is it Spock proof? I don't know the answer. They do look good. Are they tornado proof? I guess time will tell. Karen likes it. Yeah, around 400. Wes says pretty cool and stone, so they'll be cool inside. They're made of lavacrete. Earthquake proof? I don't know. Lennar is Lennar. Yeah, they're the ones that are doing it. Blue Spark doesn't know why they would need rounded corners. It would complicate furnishings a little. I don't know. I kind of like the rounded corners. I don't know. We'll see how they hold up. Looks nice enough to me, says Heather. Yeah. Printed in California immediately. Who will live there? Robots? No, regular people. Better than wood, says Gordon. Tammy says, I love them. Nice. Are you Vulcan kidding me? Nice, Rev. I appreciate it. That's Vulcan crazy. Karen says, I always thought a concrete shell made a lot of sense. This is a great idea. Finally, some use for 3D printers that really has, quite the environmental impact in the right way. We'll see. I'm going to keep my eye on this story, see if these houses actually hold up. Not bad. I don't mind the striations and the lines, but according to the builders, you can really put any patterns on the lavacrete. Well, there it is. I mean, I don't want to move to Texas. No offense, Rhonda, but if I had to move to Texas, I guess I wouldn't mind a lavacrete 3D printed house. Looks pretty good to me. I think we have time for our visiting of the caves, and I have 2 caves for today's cave excursion. Let's go to Costa Rica. Yeah. Here, cave 1. Sorry, I'm trying to get my pictures in order here. I have 2 caves to show you today. One cave that looks promising, one cave there is absolutely no way that I'm going into this cave. It is home to a colony of bats, and that's the problem with that. But this one looks pretty cool. Yeah, these are the Venado caves. They were formed 15 to 20 million years ago during the Miocene age. They were under sea level, and they reached the surface due to movements of the tectonic plates. They were discovered by natives in this area, and they are formed by stalactites, stalagmites, and limestone stones. The entrance to the caves was opened in 1962. It consists, they say, of 12 stays of diverse sizes. Some of them are narrow and low, and that is why sometimes you have to cross underground rivers. They say if you want to go explore these caves, you have to be willing to get wet and to get muddy. If you're not, then these are not the caves for you. But here's how it looks underground. By the way, I forgot to say, this is Hide in Your Cave Monday. Here it is. Wait, I have to go back now and do my little Hide in Your Cave Monday. Here's how it looks in there. You can see it's kind of muddy and yucco in there, but it's also really interesting too. We're never going to this cave in Costa Rica, but we can look at it. The Venado caves, they say, have underground trails and passages that take you through several different caves to explore a world indifferent to the light. You have to have lanterns to illuminate your way. You've got to have the necessary gear to cross a labyrinth of ancient underground rivers and seabeds that are now being exposed after millions of years. There are some really interesting rock formations down here. One called La Papaya, one called El Coral, one called El Altar, and one called El Parto, or the Birth. They say some of the rock formations, the stalactite and stalagmites, hang from the rocky ceiling, others emerge from the ground. They do say there's a large colony of bats that inhabit the caverns, as well as frogs and crabs down here as well. So once you make your way through the bats, the frogs, the crabs, the underground rivers, the stalagmites sticking out of the floor, they'll give you a fruit snack at the end. That's the tour there. There you go. There is another cave in Costa Rica that I thought we could take a look at. It's called Barahonda. Barahonda is unique among the national parks of Costa Rica. They say its main attraction is a large, intricate system of limestone caves decorated with forms and figures and all kinds of things. You can go spelunking in Barahonda. You can see, here's a picture of this guy. doing his Barahonda thing. There it is. Not sure how good this picture is, but you kind of get the gist of all of the rock formations in this one. Kind of interesting. This is Barahonda, and it's a 3 to 4 hour hike. They'll charge you $40 to get in and give you the caving equipment and send you out with a personal guide. They say kids 10 and above, no little ones. You got to wear long pants and sturdy shoes because it's slippery inside this cave and you have to climb over broken stalactites and rocks. They say if you're going, you should not have a fear of enclosed spaces. Some openings to the caverns are narrow, so it might be difficult or impossible for bigger people to pass through. So if you're chunky monkey, this is not the cave for you. They say this cave has got its name from the fer de lance snake, which was found dead on the bottom of the entrance at the time when this cave was discovered. But in general, there's really no animal life in this particular cave. You have to, in order to get in, climb down a 17-meter high ladder. I don't know, 17 it says. Look, it's not miles. To arrive in the entrance hall. From there, you continue your descent through the first hall until you reach the bottom. Another descent on a ladder gets you to the next cavern. They call it the Fried Eggs Cave, which, among other curious formations, features stalactites that resemble fried eggs. Then you get to a third chamber, and you pass through a narrow opening. The bizarre limestone formations are compared to popcorn, roses, grapes, and shark's teeth. Unfortunately, because of an earthquake in 2012, the following 2 chambers have been closed to the public for security reasons. But there is a fourth cavern, which features an enormous formation of hollow stalagmites. If you tap lightly on the hanging formation, clear musical notes can be heard. Further down, there's a very narrow opening. You can climb down another ladder, and there's the 5th and last chamber, a high-ceilinged hall, 60 meters below the surface. So there you go. Then you got to hike back up. It's about 4 kilometers back up the hill. This whole thing takes more than an hour. But it's interesting. Yeah. Going spelunking up and down the ladders. I don't know. I'm not thinking the Costa Rica caves are for me. Between the narrow openings, the climbing up and down of ladders, and the bats, yeah, I don't know. Again, here's the other one. It's cool, but I'm not going down there with bats. That is Hide in Your Cave Monday. Woohoo! All right, let's see what you guys are talking about. Oh yeah, meters. Meters, it's a unit of measure used by countries not stupid enough to still be using the imperial system, says Blue Spark. In other words, everybody else in the world. I'm sorry, it just said M. It caught me off guard. Sandy, we know what meters are. Yeah, we do. I think he's trying to help me out because clearly I stumbled over the M, right? Heather says, hey, snakes and bats are fine with me, but spiders are a huge hell to the no. Okay, when I was doing research on this cave, sadly, in the pictures, and I don't know why they do this, why they would show pictures of bats and spiders as if that would somehow entice me to go into one of these caves. Here's what enticed me. Okay, this is the Venado cave. And here's one, Heather. I'm going to take your comment down for a second so we can see the pictures. Normally, I would completely agree with you. Although, no, I'm not okay with snakes and bats either. But check out this picture of the first cave. It's the Venado cave. I thought this was kind of cool. Looks all lit up in there and interesting. Look at that. And that's just the light from the torches. It's not like bioluminescence or anything. So I thought that looked kind of cool, right? But then, no. Then they kept showing other things that I'm really not interested in seeing. I have to show you. I guess they think pictures of bats. I just know I saw one. They have a picture of a spider down there, like it looks like a tarantula style spider down there. And I know it's here. Hold on. I'm just going to share my screen with you so you can see all the pictures. I know. Hold on for a second. Okay, here it is. Then I have to take this one down. Hopefully this is worth it. I don't know if this is worth it or not. Okay, so here is what they are trying to show us. All right, that's pretty cool. We saw that picture. Here are all the people thinking they're cool. Interesting looking caves. Looking at the maps of the caves, trying to get into the caves. I thought I had a picture of a spider. In one of these, there's a tarantula down there. In see this hole right next to this guy where I have my, my yeah, there's a spider in there. Not looking good. I don't know. You put spiders, bats, and snakes down in these caves, and I'm thinking, I'm out. I am outie of the caves. What that is Hide in Your Cave Monday for a weekend where it certainly felt like hiding in the cave was a nice thing to take our mind off all the troubles of the world. That is the after party live. It seems like it went by really fast, didn't it? Maybe I just been yip yapping so long that I don't know. John says they have vampire bats in Costa Rica. No, thank you. The blue glow color is cool. That's what I thought. You go down there, it feels like you're, it's all lit up, special, like it's all glowing. Yeah, it's all fun and games until the bats, snakes, and spiders come out. Phineas says, remember those soccer kids trapped in that cave? No thanks. Yeah, they went in it when the water was low and then they couldn't get out and the passageways were narrow. Scary. Let's see. You guys are talking a lot about metrics. Ooh, Santi. Yeah, no spiders for us. Puppy pics. Tarantulas are not regular spiders, says Tammy. No, they're not. I don't have them all loaded. I'm sorry. Phineas wants me to share these pictures, but I don't have it. I'll try to get that on tap for tomorrow, perhaps. I know you have puppy pictures to share, and we always love some puppies to end on a happy note. Would have been good there. But this is the end of the After Party Live. Thank you for being here and for participating. And thank you for all the ways you contribute to the show and help keep this show moving forward. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on the Mark Thompson Show. David K. Johnston will be on Wednesday this week, but we have a couple other guests that will be really fun. Of course, we'll hear from Mark about his big Super Bowl party in Las Vegas. But until we meet again, make it a really good day. Hopefully, I know it's afternoon, but hopefully you can find some happiness in one way or another. And I will see you tomorrow. Thank you again for being here. Bye, everybody.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.
It's okay. I've woken up, Karen.